And also have a backup plan. Because while all this is going on, and sometimes it doesn't pay to rush it either, because if you don't rush it, that can get everybody a little bit stressed. Just imagine Mr. and Mrs. Divorcee just arguing constantly and wondering what's going on. Give it a little bit of time. But also have that backup plan. Because if you, even as a buyer in a strong position, feel pressurized then to commit to that one whilst it's still going on, if you're still looking and keeping an eye on the market, then you don't feel so pressured yourself. And then, once they start to agree with you, you've really, really got to do exactly as you say. So keep looking. And that keep looking is really hard sometimes, because you may have looked at the market right so thoroughly, and this was the only house you liked, but you never know, during the 4 or 5 days that the toing and froing with the negotiations are going on, or that you will then discover something else. So just keep looking, but don't advertise that fact to the agent, okay? Because he won't be happy. And you know, it's all, as I say, it's a people game. You keep everybody happy. So then we have risk, and what risk actually means to you. Now, a lot of this really, we're probably moving away now, surviving and thriving as a buyer from owner-occupation more to investment. Risk is very rarely taught, especially by, I don't know whether you've ever seen the advert on the television, it's some property investment company specialists. And there's this beautiful kitchen family room with a beautiful family all wearing white. The children are running around going, "Daddy, Daddy." And then there's this glamorous woman stood in front of the island going, "You could own an investment home just like this for you." And, you know, she's always very seductive. And you think, "Oh, I've got to have that house. Look at that. They're beautiful tenants. The house is beautiful. The kitchen's beautiful. I want that." But you know what that is? What category of investment that is? High risk. Massively high risk. Because who's paying for that glorious advert? Who's paying for all that creative marketing? Trust me, it will be added to the property price. When you want to take a high risk, when you want to look at risk, can you afford a little or low risk? Most people that buy investment properties generally are actually looking for a low-risk property because you don't want to lose money. That's generally the idea, isn't it? Okay, generally the idea, unless you live where I live on the Gold Coast and maybe we've given up. So do you want to do a little risk? Now, a little risk will mean you do heaps of research, you know the area you're buying in, you know the housing market, and you get yourself in a good, strong position, and then you go for good, strong negotiations, whether it's auction or private treaty. But a lot of people don't do that, and they take what they don't realize is the high-risk option. I think somebody earlier was asking about off-plan. Off-plan, high-risk option. Buying from some property investment company, high risk, because who's making money? Okay? They've all got to make money somewhere. They don't do it for free. So you've got to know what sort of options. Do you know what a real high-risk option is? A genuine high-risk option? Well, that is buying a house next to that sign that said, "Welcome to Bougainville." That's a high risk, because you'd be taking a punt. You would be buying in a street or a suburb or an area that everybody had said, "Forget it." You've got an absolute deal because the house has been on the market for a year, and the sellers are desperate, and the agent's given up. You went in with your offer on $1 million at 750, and he just said, "Oh, God, no, just go for 600, you get it." That is high risk. But if high risk pays off, it pays off big time, okay? If you lose, you also lose big time too. So that's what you have to decide.